everybody. Welcome back to the Nonsense Zone. Episode 6. 6 is good.
6 is good.
You don't like 6?
I love 6.
Was that Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, maybe
it was a lip reader. And he kept saying they were going to meet at 6 or something like that. And she thought he was saying sex. He's like, what about 6? You want 6? 6? You don't like 6? It's like
6 is good.
Oh.
Jerry. Jerome. Remember Jerome?
I don't remember Jerome.
That was his name, you fool. Jerome Seinfeld.
Oh, Jerome. Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's it. That's it.
It was over.
Starting
off on a wrong. Just horrible start. Horrible start.
One of my favorite.
Hold on, everybody, in case you're new, that guy right there, Lenny Bruce, Andy Biggs, episode 6 of the Nonsense Zone. We're going to hear about one of Lenny's favorite. Sorry, go ahead. Morty Seinfeld.
Oh. No, it's the whole Seinfeld thing. I was trying to figure out which way to point at you, and it's the opposite. You're not even over there.
What? Touch that finger, Len.
Oh, let's see. Oh, wait, nope.
Nope. Oh, you're doing it. You're doing it.
What am I? So
yes.
On my screen, it's pointing the same way as yours.
Oh,
you. But anyways,
yes, yeah.
Little Jetty.
That was just on.
Oh, was it? That was a great one.
The cockfighting.
Oh, I love that's when he goes to buy the gum. He was trying to get his check down. Remember? And he's like,
outrageous. 85 cents. That's outrageous.
That's outrageous.
Yes.
He didn't sound like that.
Sorry.
Jerry didn't sound like that. We both screwed up Jerry. Poor Jerry.
We did.
That's okay. He lost all his hair.
Yeah. It happens to all of us.
Yep.
You hear my daughter?
I do.
Yeah. She's in the other room. She hears me in here talking.
No, what's funny about that sound?
She's going to break the door down.
From this end, I don't know what's the noise she made.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I was in Walmart over the weekend and I was pushing a cart and I was thinking to myself how people just don't pay attention to anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this woman ahead of me, an older lady, and I was pushing the cart and I was like, I wonder if she's paying attention. So I just started making random noises. I was like, like I gave a couple of those and she was paying attention.
Oh.
Yeah, she kind of did a peek over. We made eye contact. I was like, yeah, I hear it too. It's weird.
I'm glad you haven't changed, Len.
No. Yeah, time did absolutely no good. Yeah. I didn't call her any names and she didn't get mad at me. So
that's good. I mean, we're making progress.
Were you with us? We were in Alex Bay. I think we rode motorcycles to Alex Bay. And we went to go get ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And we all got our ice cream. And these two old women were, thank you for being a friend.
Mm-hmm.
They were traveling down the road and back again.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, one of them turned around and she had the same exact ice cream cone flavor, the whole works as I did. So I gave twins.
Yes, I was there.
She must have thought I referenced her and her old friend as twins. And she gave a, what the hell with you?
Yep, I was there for that. Yeah.
At first I didn't catch it. I was like,
yeah, we were puzzled. Like, well, I don't know.
I'm trying to bond with this woman.
Remember McDonald's? Hickory?
Oh, yeah, Hickory.
So Len and myself and like 3 or 4 other of our friends are sitting at the McDonald's and we're just minding our own business, but we were being loud and obnoxious like we always are and laughing and tee-heeing and eating our nuggets and
but minding our business. We were minding our business.
We were absolutely minding our business. We weren't picking on anybody. We're out of nowhere. This guy was big. I mean, like this.
We were in high school still, weren't we?
Yeah. Well, I think we were seniors. And this big guy, cowboy. No, the guy didn't have a cowboy hat. His friend had a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I think his friend did.
Big guy stands up, points at me, you, and
Sneb.
We were the 3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Points at us and goes, "You guys got a fucking problem?" And we're all like so caught off guard. We didn't know what. And we're like, "What? Excuse?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can imagine." But he's like, I will fight all three of you right now. Just follow me outside. Slams his tray down
Out of
and
nowhere.
storms out. And then his little friend, his cowboy hat.
Get him, Hickory.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he was
Still
the
don't
guy.
know what his problem was.
I have no clue. Yeah, just like because you were stood up. Yeah, you stood up and said something like, but you were still talking to us, and you're like, you ever have a fine piece of hickory or something? And that was the last straw. That was he just stood up. Man,
Hickory, he must be talking about me.
Just figured, yeah,
weird.
Yeah.
We made people angry. Just the presence of us made people angry sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll take all three of you guys outside. I wonder what he wants to do out there. Well, there's four of us, Hickory.
Maybe he's talking to the girls. Yeah, man. They were tougher than us, so
you know what? I don't think they want to fight, fella.
That would have been the perfect response.
Yeah, he just said three. He didn't really say you guys. It was like, well,
I'll tell you right now, these three don't want to fight.
I don't think they're really up for it. But imagine if we just played dumb. Like, what does he want to do out there?
Just one of us stick our heads out. Excuse me.
What is it?
What did you want to do?
No, Hickory.
Get him.
We should just went out and possibly got beat up. That would have made the story much better.
Dude, it would have. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The thing is, I don't know. Yeah, we won't go down that road. But we were kind, loving, weird guys.
Harmless. We were harmless.
We found weird things funny. We still do, and just having fun. But we also were pretty athletic and probably pretty strong for young guys. And it's a good thing we weren't mean and angry, because we probably would have. If we were angry, we were fully capable of going out there and beating up Hickory.
Oh, you and Sneb were definitely.
But it's one of them things where looking back, it's like, if we were different guys, I'd have been like,
imagine if we just went out.
Something to do, Hickory.
Just fucked him up.
Bounce his head off the curb for like 15 times till he like basically lost consciousness. Like, so what is it you want? Okay. And he just wanted to show us his new car.
Yeah, I just got a new Hyundai.
Well, I mentioned one. Thought I heard one of you guys mention a Hyundai. Sorry about that, fella.
The Santa Fe.
The Santa Fe.
Nice set of wheels. I want to shut it off.
If I remember right, there was some major poking going on under the table.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The whole time. Yeah. The guy gets up and is like yelling at us, and we are under the table burying our fingers into each other's rib cages, just like poke and poke, and like, he's talking to you. Go get,
the pokes under the table. The hearty pokes. I think I remember. If I remember right, were you and Sneb across from me?
I think so.
I could almost picture him giving you the old hearty pokies under the table.
Man, the funniest story is involving Sneb that I will always. We had a Marine recruiter come talk to both of us, and like you mentioned, like we were pretty athletic. I was pretty athletic at the time. He was there to talk to me. He wanted nothing to do with Sneb. Sneb was actually interested in being a Marine. Yeah, he wanted to be an MP, and Sneb was not as athletic. He was a little on the heavy side, and the Marine recruiter, was talking one-on-one with me and ignoring everything Sneb said. And then finally he does turn and acknowledge Sneb and says, you maybe need to lay off the after dinner pies, don't you think? And Sneb took it like a champ. I mean, I would have, get the book out of my house. But Sneb's like, whoa, I don't know. What do you mean? And he says, well, what do you want to be? I want to be an MP. Well, how are you going to chase down the bad guys? And Sneb goes, I'll shoot him in the back. That Marine recruiter stands up, slams his shit down on the table. You are never going to get anywhere in life with that attitude. It's like, well, the guy just stood there and called him a fatso for the last 5 minutes. He's like, yeah,
shoot him in the back.
He deserved a sarcastic response, But
oh man, I love that guy. Snebble Rebel.
That was the perfect
guy would say
quick.
anything to anybody at any time.
Yeah.
No
Under
shame.
it, and just under, he never got credit for being as quick as,
Oh,
I mean, he was quick with,
Snebble was fun.
yeah.
Oh man, I love Snebble.
Me
But
too.
that's the same fella who looked our librarian in the eyes that clearly had a wig, a horrible wig for that
Yeah.
matter.
Yep.
It was a running gag through every class that went through our school.
Mhm.
But Snebble, as the man signed our passes to basically excitedly watch us leave every single day, Snebble asked him if his wig was made out of beaver hide. When you see people with wigs, they don't want you to know, even
Right.
though it's pretty obvious. So
Mhm.
there's this 4.5 foot tall, weird, broken English type of guy signing our pass, and he just flat out asked him if his wig was made out of beaver hide.
Mhm.
Oh, God love him. I
Yeah.
love that Snebble rebel. He's
Yeah.
a rebel.
He is a rebel.
He's a Snebble rebel.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So what's new and exciting with you, Andy?
Well,
What's your agenda?
excuse me. Well, we'll start off with a run update. I feel like I look like hell today on this,
Hmm.
looking at myself in the camera. Partially, I'm gonna say because I just finished a run. I ran 3.7 miles and getting ready for the 2 half marathons. Um, two,
Two.
two.
Utah, give me two.
Ran through Amish country, which was great fun. So when I run, I usually have the Rocky 4 soundtrack playing.
Oh, did any of the Yoders stop and like take their hat off and just kind of watch it
So
go by?
there are some shit talking Amish people come out to the road. You think, oh, they're here to cheer me on. No, no.
The
They're
Yoders give you shit?
well,
They don't like people running. See, they run when chased. So when you go by, you confuse the hell out of them. They think
yeah,
you're
they
something
don't know
wrong.
what's going on. They don't know what's going on. Why is he running? What's chasing him?
The cows are out.
Well, the one guy can music's playing loud and Rocky Balboa, he's a pussy.
Imagine if one of them came out and just laid you out on the side of the road.
Ah,
Oh man, now that would be nice. Dragged you in the dooryard and just made way of you.
But he comes,
Made
But
you
he comes up.
Amish.
He comes up and he's ready. He's ready. He says, "Rocky Balboa he's a pussy."
He's a pussy.
I said, "Those are fighting words." And he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll take it up with cousin. Cousin,
Cousin.
come talk to Englishman. He says Rocky's a tough guy."
Of course, when he calls cousin, 15 guys walk out of the barn.
Nah, cousin comes up and says, cousin comes up and says, oh yes. I don't know.
That's all he says.
Mm.
That's all he said. That's all he learned when he got to 3rd grade and they graduated him. Oh, yes.
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 No, this is cousin. His name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.
They'll kill you. They will stab you in the neck with a pitchfork, right in the neck.
Right in the neck.
If you don't buy their baked goods that they cooked with their bare toes, they will stab you in the neck with the pitchfork.
With the pitchfork.
Yeah. I would love, it'd be great if they captured you and forced you to be Amish for like a month with nobody knowing anything. You come up completely missing and you become Amish for a month.
I'd be fine. I'd be fine with the exception of I've always said I could do the Amish thing if it wasn't for the fact that I need running water and plumbing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a make a trip out to the outhouse guy, especially when it's cold out and and a lot depends on Saturday night's bath night. So a lot it depends on what order you're in the bath order.
Yeah, man. Jebediah's been in there for an hour, that dirty bastard.
That poor bastard that's in there last is like basically just in a tub full of shit.
Why bother? Why bother? Oh man. I wonder if there's a cologne out there called Yoder. For people who want to stink like a sweaty Amish.
Patent pending. Yeah, we're gonna sell that. The great thing about talking shit about the Amish is we have very few Amish listeners.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in the
Very
barn right now with that little crank up radio. This son of a bitch. Oh,
next time I see him run by.
Get the pitchfork.
So now we have a new segment that I'm pretty excited about. Viewer mail. Yes. So this week I put out on all of our social media accounts saying, hey, we would love to answer your questions. And we're ready to do it. So ready for viewer mail? We actually we don't have any viewer mail. No, nobody responded. Yeah. So that's the end of thank you for tuning into viewer mail. Maybe next week we'll have some more.
I think you cut that gentleman off. Didn't he have anything to say?
That was it. Yeah, I'm just looking through. I don't.
It's kind of a loss for words, that fella.
And so our followers update, we're up to 142 followers, which is kind of just amazes me. And
awesome.
As somebody put it to me today, actually, how many seats are in a movie theater? I was like, I mean, I don't know the answer to that, but he was making the point of, you 142, you've got a full theater. So, yeah.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Try the popcorn. Yeah. Tastes like fish and stale socks.
Yes. But I don't know what made me think of this. I think it was a comedian that I saw recently. But I wanted to ask you, Len, did your parents ever give you the birds and the bees talk?
Oh, thank God, no. Had to figure it all out.
Yeah.
Of course, they made me watch everything they did. And they felt funny having the talk.
Mm-hmm.
So there was 4 kids. I was the youngest of 4, and we all had a chair in their bedroom. And every Saturday morning, off went the TV, and in we went. But they felt funny talking about it.
Right? So better to show. Yeah.
Pay attention, damn it. Oh, check this out.
See what Dad's doing right now.
It's almost like Miyagi, smooth. Wait, no, that wasn't Miyagi. That was Max.
That was Max from the Money Pit.
Oh no, wait. Yeah, smooth. Wait, was it Smooth Strokes?
Smooth Strokes was the Max from the Money Pit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Miyagi was small board left hand, big board right hand. I mean, Daniel didn't pay attention, but I did. I could have painted that fucking fence.
Small board. Wait, what was that again?
Small board left hand, big board right hand, or it was the opposite. But there was a hand for each board, for a different board. Daniel was in training.
The more you get to know Len, the more you'll know that he just makes shit up.
Oh, that was part of the movie. I think.
I mean, for 20 years, I remember thinking that he was, and I'm quoting stuff that he said about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it's like finally I sat down and watched it one day, and it's like none of that stuff happened.
No. Part of it happened, but I was the guy that no names. I labeled some poor kid. I tagged him with a nickname when we were in middle school. It stuck with him his whole life to this day, and it wasn't even the right character in the movie.
There was no Nyman in that movie.
No.
But
there's a Nyman now.
He was referring to Herbie.
Herbie.
Yeah.
He could have been Herbie. He could have been. He was supposed to be.
It was Herm with
Herm with the M.
Yeah. But
see, he was supposed to be Hermie.
To Len, it was Nyman. And for those of us that weren't watching it closely for years, it was Nyman.
Remember Yukon?
Yukon. Whenever we'd say Yukon, Len would go, ahoy! And then I went through and watched that from beginning to end, and Yukon doesn't say ahoy once.
No. I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Just make shit up. It's the most barbaric, brutal, sadistic show there ever. I mean, I have a whole rant about this.
It is.
They hold that snowman down and brutally yank his teeth out one at a time.
You son of a bitch. Yeah, they watch. They stand back and watch Yukon yank his teeth out.
And then, no, Hermie did it. And then, they call him a bumble.
Picking on him.
Bumble, that's like a slur. That's got to be some kind of a slur.
Remember, he's like all friendly after.
Well, yeah, they took his. They tortured him. They
All they
broke
had to do
they
left
broke
is
his spirits.
the other did. He went from angry to "I'll eat you" to a big pansy ass. They should have just shot him and done.
Yeah.
They should have just shot him.
Well, no, because they needed somebody to put their fucking star on the tree.
Oh, that's right. They made a big star hanging pansy out of him. Imagine if somebody threw him a set of dentures and he ate everybody.
It-
Turned
and
him right
don't
back into a pissed off.
and, and don't get me started on the island of misfit toys. I mean, that's just like they made an island for disabled people, basically, and put them away and don't worry about them. You know who needs a spinoff? They're making spinoffs about everybody. Is the goddamn lion, the flying lion that flies around and picks up all the misfit toys and brings them back and gives them a home? This guy's a hero.
He is.
He's a hero. We never hear anything about him.
You know what I didn't see? There wasn't one handicap ramp. One handicap ramp for any of them. They'd go to jail if that was made today.
That's true.
How are they supposed to get in and out of the place?
Mention they wouldn't let poor Rudolph play any games because he was a little different.
How about that voice when they plugged his nose with it?
Oh, yeah.
You just wanted to slap him across the face yourself, even though he was getting picked on.
And what about all these other reindeer? They're never pulling Santa's sleigh. You're never going to see Fireball pulling the damn sleigh.
No.
That is a sadistic. No, actually, I love it. I love Rudolph. Rudolph's one of my favorites, but I pick on it relentlessly. My wife says that I ruin her childhood whenever I pick on it.
Oh, Andy. So many other things could be ruined.
Okay.
I mean, look at the way we grew up. We ruined everybody's day every single day.
Yeah.
And they ruined ours.
Yeah.
But we loved each other and we had a lot of fun.
Yep.
Get in your car to leave school and be like, I'd like to just hit that tree as fast as I can get this car going.
I couldn't, though, because somebody pulled all the fucking spark plug wires off my car that one day.
Oh, yeah. We did. We loved each other. And we all laughed at your misery and how angry you were. And,
oh, I was pissed.
Look at him. Look, he is. He is. Oh, man. Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
I had to laugh the other day. I don't know what made me think of it. When we were working together then, back in the day, I remember driving in because my shift was over. And I don't know what made me think of it, but I was thinking, I wonder if I still got it. I wonder if I could still pull it off. So I don't. You'll probably remember. It was towards the latter part of our working together. I remember walking in and hey, Andy. I remember giving a "he did" or "you did," so something like kept continuing to, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And you're like, "What?" And I was like, "You did." I got you to the point where you're just completely aggravated. You're like, "You know what? Fuck you." You went in your office, you grabbed your shit, and you're walking out, and I was like, "Oh, I got him." And I remember opening up the back door as you were walking to your car, and I was like, "He is."
There was nothing to it, Yeah, but you're like,
nothing. I had
in
nothing.
your head, you're like, well, I mean, what did I do? He's picking on me for something. No.
Yes, he did. And you're like, but you're like, what? You drove off pissed off. We had like a little texting back and forth. You're like, dude, fuck off. Don't even bother texting me again. I was like, he did. He fell for it. Oh, that was priceless.
Yeah.
That was priceless, Andy.
Well,
that was priceless.
This show's over. Click.
I used to get a confession out of one of our friends. And if he watches this, he may know who. But once in a while, he'd come up missing, or we'd all go out and do something, and this one fellow would be like, I wonder what he did last night. And all I had to do, and he fell for it every time, I'd be like, what did you do last night? And he'd be like, I'd be like, what did you do? He would confess every time, like, don't say nothing else. And I'm like, I'm not saying nothing. And like, he never wondered like how I knew, and I didn't. I had no idea what he did, but all I'd have to do was be persistent. Like, what did you?
The don't say nothing. All right, so I know who you're talking about. This the don't say nothing was enough for me. We'll talk off air. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. Every time he'd be like, well, don't say nothing, Dick. And I'm like, no, I won't say nothing. I'm like, I had no idea what he did. I found out right away.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
He'd
yeah.
cough it up. Yeah.
He was one of the other guys I'd call after we spent 12, 13, 14 hours all day, all night together, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would go home and call.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that brings up one of the things.
Mm,
So Len was famous for, I know he called me many times at 2 or 3 in the morning. Thank God it became,
mm.
he waited till I got my own place to ramp it up. But
There was nothing to talk about. I just wanted to recap the day.
Mhm.
Did you see his head?
So it was back when we had landline phones, and I don't think,
Oh,
not, I mean,
man.
not all of our phones had caller ID, but you knew at 2 or 3 in the morning, "Oh, it's Len."
And it didn't have to be after we spent a night. It could be I could have not seen you for weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'd stumble in the house half shit faced at 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, oh, beep, 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 beep. Oh my. And when you'd answer, I'd be like, I'd probably make noises in your ear for 10,
You get a
15 minutes.
groggy, "Hello?"
I'd be like, ah, he is. Remember, I just like kind of howl on the phone for a while. But you were always chatty. I always got you chatting. It was
Oh,
good
yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Poor Delbert. I got Delbert a lot because
Yeah.
we'd spend all day, all afternoon and night together, and we'd party. And like I said, we'd part company 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, damn near daylight sometimes. And it didn't matter. I'd go home and be like, oh, the poor guy, eventually, because not too many people know this, but the nickname Delbert stuck with Delbert, but he also called me Del.
Right. Yep.
But so
I remember that.
he'd be like, all right, I'm going, Del. One thing about Delbert, he never hung up on me, but he always threatened.
Oh, yeah.
Well, all right, I'm gonna go, Delbert. I'm gonna go. Like I keep him on the phone and I try to make him say stuff like, Del, say meatball, Del.
Mm.
Say meatball before you hang up. No, I'm not saying meatball. Like, come on, say it. Just say it. He never gave in, that dirty bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, he never pitched me a meatball or.
I could have ended that conversation. He could have gone back to sleep.
Probably good solid 5 minutes. Sometimes I would beg him to say something stupid, and he just wouldn't. God love him.
Got to respect that.
Yeah.
Stuck to his guns.
Oh, that was a hard guy to talk out of I think I've talked him out of a no maybe once in my life. Once he said no to anything, there was no turning back.
Well, there's one thing about our group of friends. You could not give in to peer pressure. I mean, I was conditioned against peer pressure at a very young age because you knew that if you gave in, you were going to look foolish. I mean, your pals were going to make you look foolish in one way or another. It was
worse
always,
than they did.
It was always a setup.
Always. There's always something behind it. Always.
Yep, always.
Oh man, that was living.
Mm.
You wonder why we're all like
twitchy, nervous stomached, and
oh man.
So there is, well, actually, I don't know. I have two topics here to go on, but well, since we're kind of already in this, the 2 a.m. phone call kind of reminds me of, I'm going to jump around my outline a little bit. Reminds me of back in the day when you started courting your wife. You were very interested in your wife, and you confided in me a lot, and we just happened to go out to a bar one night, and there she was at the time. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to help my friend Len out. And barely knew me at the time. But I was like, Len, give me your keys. And you're like, well, why am I giving you your keys? Just give me your keys. And so I go up to her and I'm like, Len has been drinking all night, and I'm afraid he's going to try to drive home. Could you take his keys? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. And she took the keys and put them in her purse or pocket or whatever. And I was like, I went back and told her, all right, she's got your keys. Now, when the night is over, she has to invite you back to her place. Speed things up. Me trying to like play Cupid. About 10 minutes go by. We look around. She's gone. She left for the night.
She left with my keys.
With Len's keys.
Which probably was a good thing, but
yeah.
Well, I had a ride anyway, but
well, that was the night you ended up. I'm like, well, I guess you're sleeping on my couch tonight, Len.
I got backfired on both of us.
Well, just let me. I don't know how much you remember of that night,
Oh, I
but
remember.
we did it. We no,
What?
no. So I shut my bedroom door. I'm in my bed. He's out in the living room, and every now and then, one of us would hear the other one start laughing, and that just went on like all night. Like, I mean,
Oh, we
I'd
laughed
hear
ourselves to
him start
sleep.
laughing, and then I'd lose it and just laugh hysterically, and then we'd laugh for like 10 minutes, and
Uh,
then we'd both calm down and like,
like, hmm,
catch our breaths,
hmm.
quiet. I'm going back to sleep. And then the other one would start laughing, and then the other one would laugh hysterically for like time, and it was just repeat
Oh,
like a vicious cycle. I mean,
that went on for a long time.
it really did. So yeah, and that was a wonderful plan on my part that did
Yeah.
not work at all.
In fact,
Uh,
I think it was. Thank God. I think I had an extra set of keys to the car because I ended up having to go back to Potsdam to get it.
I think
Yeah,
I drove you. I think I drove you there the next
but
morning to get
yeah,
the
I was like,
keys or
"Oh,
something.
that,
Yeah,
that backfired.
yeah. It didn't. No, don't let
You
me.
idiot.
Don't let me try anything. Any schemes. I'm not good at it.
And I ended up on your couch and kept you awake for a couple hours laughing at each other.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. That was, I mean,
Yeah, look at the memory. Look at what
but
happened.
nothing. And so this is, we're going to go into my favorite story. And the great thing about this story, I wasn't there for it. So I'm just
Mm.
going to have to step aside
Oh,
and let Len take the reins on the night that his brother, a gentleman that we will refer to as
hmm.
the letter J.
Oh, the letter J?
Uh,
We had a friend there with the letter J too. Don't
that's
forget.
what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we're going out our way not to mention a lot of names or anything, but we're and possibly other people were beaten up by a bachelorette party.
Hmm.
Len,
Oh, that's a good story.
the floor is yours.
Oh, yes. Well, I'll start out by saying I wasn't always the role model citizen that I am today. Add a little alcohol to that, and oh, but it was always humor based, you know. I wasn't a real a hole,
Mm.
but anyways, yeah, we were at a local watering hole where we grew up, and I don't remember what the hell happened. We were outside. It was a summer night, and in strolls this big old school bus, which was out of the ordinary. You know, we all knew each other, and it was kind of like one of them bars. We were making our way in the world today. We took everything we got. That
You're taking a break from all your worries.
would help a lot.
Wouldn't you like to take a break? Carry on. Carry on.
So, anyways, to our surprise, the door opens up, and here comes Christ Almighty. It was a full size school bus and probably loaded full of 50 women of all various shapes and sizes. So they come in, and we thought really nothing of it. We're like, oh, wow, this is going to pack the bar, you know. And the bus driver got off, and he was a very unsociable, stale looking feller smoking a pipe. So, right there, we were like, oh, this guy's going to get picked on. So, in they went. So the alcohol was rolling. We were having a grand old time. Of course, me and our friend that we mentioned proceeded to basically taunt the bus driver in a friendly way, asking stupid questions and making the guy answer them. And he was a pretty good sport about it. But long story short, after our friend danced in front of him and asked him weird questions, the guy went and sat on the bus. He didn't want to talk to us anymore.
Mm.
That made us sad. So we went in.
That made us sad.
And to shorten the story, eventually the women were coming out little by little.
Well, I mean, no, don't short it. I remember you were climbing the bus like an ape.
Oh well, that's where this took
Oh,
off.
okay. And it
The
wasn't
women.
Streeter. Damn it. Sorry, I said a name. Wasn't he like you can dance like this?
Oh yeah,
Dance like
the bus driver. We were kind of fiddling around with the bus. You know, we weren't doing too stuff. And yeah, I think I started like climbing up on the bumper and waving to him through the window and whatnot. And he ended up coming off the bus. He's like, "Oh, get off the bus." And we're like, oh, "All right," you know. And we're like, "Oh, I can last long." So every time he got back on the bus, I climb up on the hood, wave through the wave to him through the window, and he would awkwardly sit there and just look out the windshield. And I was like, "Yeah, it's working. It's working." So he came off, and then our friend there, he was like, "You could dance like this." And We just taunted the poor guy. So eventually the women started coming out little by little and didn't think much of it. And they started getting on the bus. Well, as I think most of them, if not all of them, got on the bus, I thought it would be a good idea to go with them. So I crawled on the hood again as the feller fired up the bus. Well, I'm waving through the window again, doing whatever. Well, he wasn't having it. And it was, you think about a school bus, it wasn't super easy to get on and off. It's
Oh no, that's
so
that's
I made my way up there, and of course he had enough, and rightly so. He come charging off the bus to get me off of it, and I was like, "Oh, here he comes! I might as well try to get myself off the bus before this guy helped me," which he proceeded to do.
gently, very gently, I'm sure.
Well, I don't even remember that part because I was kind of coming off, and my brother was there, and we were all just having fun. And well, the bus driver grabbed a hold of me to help me off the bus. Well, when he grabbed a hold of me, my brother was like, okay. He kind of switched gears, like we were having fun, then get your hands off my brother type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he grabbed the bus driver.
That was a mistake.
And it went from we were just having fun to now my brother's got the bus driver on the ground. Well, this is where it turned sour. All 50 some women, one by one, start charging off this bus. To our surprise, they were strong, determined women. And within seconds, I don't know how, I got bombarded off. They didn't care about me. I was the last. I was nothing to them. Mm. Well, they attacked my brother, who was he was restraining the bus driver because of, he was putting his hands on me type of thing.
He wasn't fighting him.
He wasn't punching him. He wasn't. But before he could even just remove him from me, and they ended up to the ground, he was just going to get up and be like, there, leave him alone. These women pummeled him. 50 some women come off this bus and they end up basically on top of my brother. None of us could even get close to try to help. Of course, we weren't going to like manhandle these women, but we were like, hey, it was a grab fest. Next thing you know, our other friend there dives into this big old crowd. It's like a mosh pit of women to try to help my brother out. And we're all getting pushed away. We were getting beat up. Mm-hmm. We're basically getting overpowered by all these women. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, my brother emerges from the crowd of women, completely shirtless, scratched up, no hat, shirtless, standing there in the parking lot. And our other friend, they tore his hat off. They might have took his shirt off too, one way or another. Next thing you know, here's my brother, shirtless, scratched all up like he got into a fight with a panther. And these women filed back onto the school bus. Bus driver, he was, when he was unharmed, he got pummeled under 50 women at the same time. Like, get off him! They get in the bus and back out of the parking lot as most of us stood there battered. And on their way away, they're waving my brother's tore up shirt and our buddy's hat out the window in pure victory. Fuck you guys, fuck you. We just kind of stood there like, what happened? My brother he took the biggest hit of it all. It was like, because I think it happened so fast. I mean, as soon as them women were just like, they come off that bus and shit hit the fan. Bunch of people got pushed out of the way. But 50 women scratched and mauled my brother. Oh, they got him good.
Ripped his shirt off.
Shirtless fella just standing there in the middle of the parking lot. Then he had to go back in the bar. We were all there.
Right.
Luckily, a friend of ours had like some old rag of a shirt in his van. He gave my brother. And then the rest of the night, we're like, you got beat up by 50 women. I feel a little bad because, I mean, he was sticking up for me and I was being a kind of a fool, but think of the memory. What did they do with that shirt?
Right.
They went bar hopping that night.
That shirt is still pinned to somebody's wall right now.
Yes.
I mean,
Well, I remember my brother saying,
whenever the friends come over, they have to touch the shirt.
Remember that night? What did the bus driver say? Thanks, ladies. I owe you one.
They came to his aid.
They did.
I mean,
They did.
That was a stand-up
Oh,
crowd of bachelorettes.
man, just unexpected brawl.
Hmm.
50 some women filed off that bus. You know what? Not a one of them just stood back. They were in
No,
it. They
they
were
were
in it
all
to win it.
gung ho. Just get him.
Dude, the wave. I could picture the bus like it was last night, waving that shirt. "Ah, piss off, you pussy!" Or that's pretty impressive.
And oh
Ah,
yeah, I mean,
mm,
I want to say it was maybe that Monday or what. I don't know. When Len was telling me that story for the first time, I was just like,
oh,
oh, I didn't go. I
mm,
wasn't going out a lot at that time, and and I
ah.
was just kind of like, I missed that.
Oh, yes.
Which is a good thing because I'm
Mm.
small and everybody wants to make it an example of somebody. They go for the little guy. So I mean,
Ugh.
I probably would have not fared well in that.
They
Uh,
gouged him and scratched him to no end, just like he got into a fight with
they
a pissed
ripped
off panther.
they ripped his shirt. They didn't see strippers that night. They made their own.
Oh, well, if I could turn back the time, if you could slow motion, picture him getting up from the pile, just no shirt and scratched up.
I always say thank God that we didn't have cell phones with cameras and stuff
Oh,
when we were growing up. But
woo,
that's an instance that would have been great if there was
God
if
almighty.
if somebody had a nice iPhone or something and it was like just recording that whole thing and letting it live in infamy.
Never thought to ask if there was surveillance at that, because we all knew the guys that owned the place and stuff at the time. Like, could you imagine if that was on surveillance?
Mm.
Dude, like, well, you'd make millions on.
Yeah, yeah, that
Oh man,
you can't write that. That's just
no,
yeah.
well, that's the same bar. I felt bad after, kind of. There was a fella that always used to get super shit faced at this bar, and he kind of had a kind of a couple. He was a couple bubbles off anyway, but he'd go out there and be sassy. It could be 90 degrees out, and he always had like this flannel type of jackety weird thing on, and I wasn't always the role model citizen I am today. So I was like, I remember telling a friend of mine, I'm like, I'd like to go out there and just shred, just one pull, just yank that shirt right off him because I figured it would tear. So the night went on, and a couple beers later, 8, 10, 12 or so, and I was like, okay, he went out there, he was being sassy. I was like, tonight's the night. Tonight's the night. I'm gonna get that shirt and I rip it right off him, like pulling the tablecloth out from
Keeping the plate
cutlery and
from
whatnot. Yeah,
yeah.
I figured it'll tear right off.
Mhm.
Well, I didn't realize it was made out of heavy duty nylon or something. So I go out there and he's just assassin it up and grooving, and
Oh,
I'm thinking, here's my chance to pull the cloth out from all the cutlery. So I did. I went behind him, I grabbed it, and what happened? I gave it the hardiest yank I possibly could, and he went to the floor with his shirt. Shirt
oh.
didn't budge. Didn't budge. He was a bigger fellow too. He wasn't like some little guy, but I ran out the front door.
Then
I was like, I killed him. He went right down. I was like, oh, it didn't tear a bit. I thought for sure I'd have the shirt. Well, the funny thing is, I ran up the hill and dove behind a pine tree. Picture that. About 30 seconds later, the fire alarm starts going off. I'm like, I did. I hurt. He's hurt. He's hurt. I hid out there for like 15 minutes, figuring the ambulance was going to roll in. Nobody came out. Nobody said, all our pals stayed in there. And finally, I walked in, and there he was. He got right back up and just started busting the move. Didn't phase him a bit. I laid out there by the pine tree for like a half an hour, 45 minutes for absolutely no reason. Fuck.
Here all this time I thought you were a nonviolent bully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a shirt.
You floored that guy. You took him right
Yeah,
down.
I thought
They
for
don't make
sure.
shirts like that anymore.
No, today it
Mm,
would have come right off.
mm, yes.
Mm. Mm. What else you got over there, Big Daddy?
Just wanted to incorporate quickly some movie news. I know Len doesn't really watch a lot of movies, but there is some interesting stuff coming up. For instance, Beetlejuice 2 will be in theaters on September 6th. They got the original cast for the most part back with Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and newcomer Jenna Ortega will play Winona Ryder's daughter, I think. And people know her from the Wednesday show on Netflix and the new Scream movies. Oh, stop.
No.
I trust that if Keaton's involved, you know, they're gonna do it right.
Yeah, at least they kept the same cast. But I'll give you a funny tidbit about Beetlejuice. It's funny you bring that up.
Okay.
I watched that movie for the first time this Halloween.
Really?
Trying to find a Halloween movie. I was like, I like.
I love Beetlejuice.
You know,
I'm
it's an
a big
excellent
Michael
movie.
Keaton fan, though. So.
I don't know why I'm saying. I'll stick to Beetlejuice. Oh no, I was so disappointed.
You didn't like Beetlejuice?
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, Lenny. It's more of a comedy than a.
But I'll give them that. They kept the original cast. And who's the angry fella there? He's always pissed off. That guy, the guy who played with the dead guy, the Baldwin fella.
Alec Baldwin. Yeah, he's not in it.
Oh, good, because
No.
he's just an angry guy.
Angry
fella.
Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin will not return in this one. But Winona Ryder played the young girl, and her mother. Actually, the guy that played her father, I believe, got into some legal trouble, so I don't think he's available these days. But
you know what? But then I'll give him this too. Personally, I think it's a stupid movie, and they could make a part 2 because it can't get any dumber than it was. There. At least they didn't grab a classic and ruin it. It was already ruined.
Listen here, you son of a bitch.
Ruined.
I love Beetlejuice.
Anyways.
This is just like Christopher Cross last week, all over again.
I heard Christopher Cross. I haven't heard Christopher Cross. I heard him driving through town the other day. I was like, he's on the radio.
Yeah.
You did this. You did this.
You deserve it.
The remake.
You deserve it.
No, wait. It's not a remake. It's a part 2.
Part 2.
No. What else you got? What other movie?
There was a resurgence in the Scream movies. I guess I don't know if that's the right word, but the Scream movies came back a couple years ago. They did really well. Scream 5 and 6 did really well. They were got good reviews from critics and people that were going to see the movies. They decided to write a 7th one, but the main 2 actors have dropped out. Well, Melissa Barrera, apologies if I say that wrong, was fired because she made some comments that were construed by the studio as anti-Semitic. And Jenna Ortega, who's also in Beetlejuice 2 and Wednesday, she cited that she is too busy and is no longer interested in being in the movie. The movie's still being made, but without its main characters. And then this one is one that this will get Len's attention, I believe. Coming out July 3rd, directly to Netflix.
Here we go. Beverly
Hills Cop, Axel F.
Axel F?
Yep.
Is that for Axel Fogey?
I see what you did there. See, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's right there with Lethal Weapon. It could go either way.
Yeah.
I mean, what about the characters in that? I mean, we're talking.
Yes. I've already saw the trailer for it, and both. I can't remember their names.
Billy and.
Yeah.
Haggard,
and yeah, they're both in it.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah.
That's not so bad. I mean, they were all pretty good. They're all watchable.
The third one is like the third Lethal Weapon movie. I don't really remember it. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
isn't that like the amusement park? Isn't
yes.
that the one? Yeah, yep. It was just all right. Fogey.
That wasn't bad. That was pretty good. Especially since I don't brief Len ahead of time on what we're talking about. So I mean, that was right off. Len's got one of the quickest comedic minds I've ever been around. Probably the quickest.
Andy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy.
TV, Yellowstone, which Len has never seen any of the Yellowstone stuff, but Yellowstone is ending with this upcoming half season. And mainly because Kevin Costner wanted out, so they gave him his release after the season. They will start a spin-off show called 2024, Yellowstone 2024, and they're also coming out with Yellowstone 1944, which will star Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
And just a quick recommendation: if you have Amazon Prime, I strongly suggest Reacher. Excellent TV show. A lot of fun to watch.
Any nudity?
Yes. brief in season 1, and it's good nudity.
Oh, Andy, Don,
Dong.
where's Grandpa's automobile?
Automobile. Yeah, geez, I don't know if we even have time to do a quick story here, but you want to do a quick story?
Yeah, we can try to cut her under an hour.
I have two. We'll whittle it down to one here. I'd like to start out by saying this story, in a way, involves a sexual assault. We do not find sexual assaults funny ever. We're gonna pick on this guy. These guys, you'll see. I think it's okay in this instance. I don't know. We may get canceled. I don't know. Excuse me. A Toronto man gets prison time for tricking men into anonymous sex through a hole in a sheet is the headline. On 2 separate occasions in 2020, a guy named Tony Sphere, he tricked 2 men into believing they were talking to women online, and then he invited them over to his Toronto home to have anonymous sex through a hole in a sheet hanging in the doorway. The ruse came to an end when the second man pulled the sheet down to find Sphere cowering to the ground in a black wig. He was later arrested. The judge convicted the 33-year-old of 2 counts of sexual assault. We haven't gotten to the funny part yet, I promise. This is all pretty disgusting. Given the victims had been misled about the identity of their sexual partner. Let's get to this here. Where did they get to? So this was all done in the preface of it being a glory hole fantasy enactment. So the sheet with a hole in it was supposed to represent the glory hole. Showed up. Let me see here. I can just skip some of this. As instructed, the victims walked into the home, put their penises inside a hole in the sheet hanging in the doorway. Oral sex was performed, and then it became penetration without warning, which both victims believed was anal sex. And then one of the guys ripped the sheet down.
What's my penis going into?
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not trusting enough to be a glory hole guy. I've seen too many scary movies or whatnot, but to me, it seems like not knowing what's on the other end is the whole point of a glory hole. So I don't know that what the guy did was terrible, and luckily he is going to prison. But I mean, I know the victims are never to blame, but these guys were going to a glory hole.
You went and stuck your pickle in an open hole in a sheet in this.
Not knowing what was on the other side.
It could have been his dog.
It could have been his cat. Kinds of things.
What if it was his cat?
I often say that the glory hole, how bad the glory hole experience is, good or bad, really depends on what side of it you're on.
Mm-hmm. Are things that bad that you gotta poke your pickle somewhere where you don't know where it's going? I mean, this guy's going to prison for backing his stanky ass up against the hole in the sheet while these guys poked their salami in there. Mm-hmm. Were they that surprised? You know, would have been better if they knew him. Like if they tore the sheet down, like, oh, it's Philip from accounting. They worked with this guy. So, we joked about it in the lunchroom, Philip. This is unorthodox. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
This is unorthodox.
I had my pickle inside of your touchy. Get up and talk to me, you fool.
And so here's the other side of this is I think if I was on the victim side of this, sure, at first I'd probably be pretty disgusted, but I think eventually I would find the humor in it. You got me.
Not to mention,
you got me. Remember that time that you tricked me into?
Hey, Philip, come here. They're at the food truck outside of work, down at the plant. That's nothing like this guy the other day. You wouldn't believe what he did to me.
I stuck my hole in this blanket. I stuck my penis in this hole in a blanket,
Got
and
a piss-stained sheet hanging in his doorway. What the hell did I know? I stuck my ding dong through that hole. Next thing I know, his golden retriever's dragging his ass across the front lawn. Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay. Yeah, they're buddies now. Next time
bow
they go,
wow wow, yippee yo, yippee.
Snoop Dogg cranking in the background. You know, and the funny thing is, they talked about it. Whether
Yeah.
they got this guy, you go to the cops like, yeah, I went to a piss stained sheet hanging in the, poked my pickle through the hole, and Philip was on the other side of that son of a bitch. Wow. Philip from accounting.
had to talk about this in to the police and then in court.
And you know, the judge sympathized with him.
Sympathized.
Yeah. What did I say?
I think you said sympathize.
I was getting wicked because of the whole Snoop Dogg.
Understood. Thing. Yeah, I would too.
So yeah, I was getting the beatbox down.
In sentencing, so the judge was pissed too. The judge in her sentencing, the judge said that there was no evidence of real remorse or appreciation of harm done.
The guy was unremorseful. Cork me in the ass, I could care less.
His lawyer argued that he had no prior criminal record. He volunteers with his church and provides financial support to his parents who live in Lebanon.
Oh, he's clean as a whistle, this fella.
The strangest part of this story... Oh, no, that was the other story. Never mind. Silly me.
Yeah, how could it get any stranger than these two guys went and complained and got this fella prison time because they went and poked their pickle through a piss-stained sheet in this person's house? I wouldn't want anybody to know. Now everybody knows.
Screw it. I'm going to do the other one. How can it get stranger? I gotcha. Oh. In another story, unrelated story, a 60-year-old kilt-wearing man in Texas was arrested last week after he was caught on surveillance footage from an antique shop. It was alleged that he was grabbing several items off the shelves, placing those items into his rectum, and then he would take them out and return them to the shelves.
Yes. Ooh, a bowling trophy.
My only question is, Len, I did not realize that you had a kilt, and I thought you were much younger than 60.
Several kilts, and I didn't know they had surveillance cameras.
Gentleman's name was Mitchell Vest, and the Harris County Constable Precinct 4 office deputies received calls from multiple concerned citizens regarding an adult male who they said they observed selecting items from multiple vendors at an antique mall outlet and placing them into his rectum. The male was then observed removing the items and placing them back on the shelves. Some of the items were a makeup brush, a restoration hardware piece, an antique bottle opener, and a tobacco tent can. I don't know what that is. The incidents allegedly occurred at two different shops, the Antique Gallery of Houston and the Curiosity Shop. Both were in the Town Drive. Were in Town Drive in Spring, Texas.
It was the Curiosity Shop. He was curious.
He was curious. The owner of the antique gallery said that she witnessed Vest picking up the makeup brush and hardware piece and, quote, shove both items in his anus and then return them to the shelf. The damaged items were valued at $130.
They valued them. Is that before or after?
Right. The Curiosity Shop. Hold on. I lost my spot. Damn it. I suck at this. The same thing happened with a bottle opener at the Curiosity Shop, and they claimed that their damages were $74. They had to throw the items away. See, now that's the thing that, yeah.
I think he went for a quick sniff just to make sure he did the right job.
Well, I would worry that I maybe had bought something from this place and like, wait a minute.
Popped your bottle with it. It's filler time.
See here, Susan Golden, the manager of the Antiques Gallery, told a Houston NBC affiliate KPRC that she believed she had seen Vest in the establishment prior to that date,
Scoping it out.
and employees were telling her that he's been there and spent several hours shopping around the store.
He's a regular. He was finding the items that would fit.
You don't know. He could have been doing this all along.
Yeah, who knows? He just
There could be items that were on that shelf and sold that were in this man's rectum.
Oh man, we only hope. Like a water pick.
The odd part about this, to me, the strangest part about this is he was arrested and bail was set at $100.
He knew them. He was in cahoots with the judge.
$100?
$100.
What's the point of even setting bail if you're going to
crib my bottle opener up his touch hole and you give him $100 bail? Oh, I love that guy.
So yeah, it does get stranger, and again, can't really make this stuff up.
Another surveillance video that I wish we could see.
Yeah,
there's this picture of you. Oh yeah. I just hope it's a repetitive thing where now he'll go to others and do the same thing.
Yes. Yeah, because he's out. I mean,
he's out.
He posted his bail, and yeah, I don't think he did any real time for that.
Why you in, fella? I had a nice pick in my ass about 2 hours ago, and a bowling trophy.
Didn't belong to me.
We're now friends.
Apparently, you can only do that stuff when it belongs to you.
Yeah, it's frowned upon.
Yeah, otherwise it's frowned upon. Yep. So,
well, that's funny stuff, Andy.
Well, I thought you'd like that. And,
I enjoyed it.
Since it is some funny stuff, and
it is.
I think that's a jam-packed episode right there. I'd like to
close us out, Big Daddy.
I'd like to thank everybody for all the support that we've gotten. It's been, thanks to everybody for the viewer mail submissions. That was awesome.
Yeah, if anybody's got any questions and would like to participate,
we could have some fun with this. You do it interactive. We would love for you to be part of the show.
Lots of questions, maybe comments.
You to be a part of the show.
Please.
Yes.
Please. That would be great to answer questions.
So anyways, 142 after 5 episodes, subscribers is fantastic. I couldn't be any more happier with that. And again, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Music, we're on Amazon Music, we're on YouTube, we're now on Patreon, which is a new thing to us. And yeah, there's lots of ways to watch and listen. And yeah, thanks for coming out and supporting us.
It's a lot of fun.
So with that, I'd like to thank my guest host, Lenny Bruce.
Thank you, Andy,
for always being here and being the quickest mind in comedy.
Thanks, Andy.
I'd like to remind everybody to drive fast, stay to the left, never play leapfrog with a unicorn, and to always keep on keeping on. Thanks, everybody.